In this video, we're going to take a look at combining like terms. To combine like terms, the first thing that we need to look for is them having the same variable, and that variable needs to be to the same power. If they're different powers, they're not like terms. If they're different variables, they're not like terms as well. So let's just dig into some examples here, and let's start with this one. And one way that you can think of these is think of it like a label. So rather than thinking 12x, you could think of it as like 12 apples. If we have 12 apples and 18 apples, well, how many apples do we have? 30 apples. But rather than apples, we have x's. So 12 x's and 18 x's is going to give us a total of 30 x's. So 30x. Let's take a look at this next one. Now in this one, we have a 3n here and a 12n there and an 8. Well, the 8's not a like term because it doesn't have the n with it. So we can combine the 3n and the 12n. That's going to give us 15n. And then the 8 just comes right along. We can't combine that with the 15n. Now, sometimes I see people want to combine that and give the answer of 23n. Well, careful, that 8 doesn't have an n, so we can't combine it. And hopefully you might even think, well, ooh, 23 what? If you ever think what that variable should be when you combine, maybe you can't combine it. So just be really careful with that. Alright, so then let's take a look at this one. Well, here we've got 4p and 7p squared. Okay, now in that situation, we're not going to be able to combine those because they are not like terms. We've got a p and a p squared, so it just is what it is. We can't combine those, so if we were simplifying it, it would just be the same thing. They're not like terms. Alright, how about a situation like this? Well, first thing we want to do is use the distributive property. We'll take that 4, multiply it through there. So in this case, we would get 4x, and then 4 times 9, so 4 times 9 is 36, and then plus that 5x. Now we look for those like terms. So let's see, we've got 4x is here, 5x is there. The 36 doesn't have a variable, so that's just got to come along for the ride. We'll combine the 4x and the 5x to have 9x plus 36. And that's all we can combine. Those are our like terms in that case. Alright, how about this one? Well, here we've got some decimals going on. Well, let's look at the variables. Remember, like terms are the same variable to the same power. And in this case, we've got a p squared in both, so we can combine those. So we add those coefficients together, because notice this is a plus 4.8. So 8.3 plus 4.8 gives us 13.1, and then we've got the p squared coming along there, like so. Then, this last one, well, sometimes we might have situations where the numbers don't have variables. Remember, we call those constant terms, and constant terms are like terms. So here we have a -6 and an 8. Well, I can combine those. So -6 plus 8 is going to give me 2, and then the 7m, there's no other m stuff, so that's just going to come along like that. So, combining like terms. The keys, look for variables. They have to have the same variables, and they have to be to the same power. So in this case, we had those x's that are the same power. Here was an example where we had different powers and we couldn't combine those things. Also remember that constant terms are like terms as well. They don't have any variables to any power, so we can definitely combine those. I hope this video was helpful. Keep working hard on your math. You can do it.